in shadows lurking deep, a light begins to burst. All eyes will stumble down, for truth redeems us first. God's light, it shines so bright, no darkness can conceal. His love is pure and true, His grace we deeply feel. With hate we'll never rise, but love will lead the way. In every heart a flame, God's light will ever stay. Unconditional love pouring from above. In every broken heart is the
Bear with me just a moment here as I slowly get things going. Try here. Oop. Okay, maybe that'll work a little better. Say, can you hear me now? And hello, welcome EMS. And anyone else that might be out there listening. Excuse me. So just chilling back, relaxing. Let's see. Yeah, late times can be kind of fun sometimes. Trying to do what I can here. Oops. I guess even a longer delay if you're over on the Rumble side. So I'm set up, just trying to still playing with the multi-device setup that can be problematic. But my daughter's home. We have again. Okay, that's the wrong folder. There we go. And I've created some more fun AI music. But since this computer has no space to download and then upload, little HP stream, it doesn't like to do more than one thing at a time. And even then it hiccups. Yeah, no, we always love coming in here to because the music can be kind of fun. So, get that started a little bit as we sort out what I can and can't do tonight. It's late, I know. Oh, come on.
Smoke curls up in the velvet sky, stories told as the embers fly. Crickets join in the soft refrain, laughter dances through the flame. Kicking back around a campfire glow, hearts wide open where the warm winds blow. New friends, old friends, the tales unfold. The night feels young, though the stars are old. Whispers ride on the midnight breeze, the kind of calm that sets your soul at ease. The guitar strums and the world feels small
I'll try to keep
under
all
the
the
canopy that shelters us all. Kicking back around a campfire glow, hearts wide open where the warm winds blow. New friends, old friends, the tales unfold. The night feels young, though the stars are old.
anybody else. Feel free to say hello. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Have a party all around.
Ashes rise like a fleeting dream, memories flowing like a mountain stream. The crackling fire knows no divide, pulls us closer side by side. Kicking back around a campfire glow, hearts wide open where the warm winds blow. New friends, old friends, the tales unfold. The night feels young, though the stars are old.
Beckham's not loving me tonight. Well, doesn't have a whole thing. Ay. Okay. You're in the fan. Going into Saturday morning here. Hey. I can't keep that up. So at the moment, I'll probably be done what I did last time, which is playing the songs off of one device. They hear it through the speaker. Just because, like I said, the computer I'm using does not have the computing power to do a lot. So, from being too annoying. Whoa. All right. And talking at the same time, probably not a good thing. Okay. That did not work too well. Wait, now. Let's try that again. Sorry. All right.
A parade of struggles I can no longer bear. Sleeps a stranger I meet without. A machine whispers when the silence won't come. Breath comes shallow, but I fight to stand tall. Pride's a shield even when I might fall. A stubborn heart beats in this battle frame. Veterans fly.
Hope I'm being heard.
Untamed by shame. Each step feels like a war I once knew. The battles are different, but the scars stay true. Oxygen's my ally, though it feels like defeat. But this fight's my own, I won't retreat. Breath comes shallow,
Oh, stop. All right. So I think I'm being heard. Yeah, audio's coming through. Ah, since I am being heard, I had some fun with some other songs, creating songs, some silly songs, even. So here's a silly song. I walked into the kitchen late last night. My jar was empty, it gave me a fright. Who's the culprit who dared to be so fickle? I'm gonna tickle whomever stole my pickle. Oh, I'm armed with feathers and a big slide grin. Justice is sweet, let the tickles begin. You can't hide, I'll find you, it's no riddle. I'm gonna tickle whomever stole my pickle. I searched the pantry, I searched the floor, even checked behind the bathroom door. No crumbs, no trails, just silence so brittle. I'm gonna tickle whomever stole my pickle. I'm armed with feathers and a big sky grin. Justice is sweet, let the tickles begin. You can't hide, I'll find you, it's no riddle. I'm gonna tickle whoever stole my pickle. I searched the pantry, I searched the floor, even checked behind the bathroom door. No crumbs, no trails, just silence. I'm gonna tickle whoever stole my pickle. I'm armed with feathers and a big sly grin. Justice is sweet, let the tickles begin. You can't hide, I'll find you, it's no riddle. I'm gonna tickle whomever stole my pickle. What a giggle from behind the chair. I peeked around, but no one was there. A shadow darted quick and nimble. I'm gonna tickle whoever stole my Oh, I'm armed with feathers and a big slide. Justice is sweet, let the tickles begin. You can't hide, I'll find you. It's no good. I'm gonna tickle so my pickle. Yeah, tickles. Sing telling. And then eh, another feeling, EMS. Sometimes it's good to take a break. But I'm glad you came back for my stream. And here's a couple more songs. Well, yeah. shelf. Thought I'd misplaced my own self. A tomato gone without a trace. A mystery written on its face. Where's my tomato? Oh, where? Vanished like magic or a late night show. I swear I saw it just yesterday. Now it's a fugitive gone astray. I asked the cat, but she just stared. She was as if she cared. The salad waits with bated breath. A lonely boy. Where's my tomato? Oh, where'd it go? Vanished like magic or a late night show. I swear I saw it. The fugitive gone astray. Roll out the door, start a new life. Run from the chicken block and kitchen knife. Perhaps it's hiding beneath the in the room. The cheese, the lettuce, even the broom. But no one speaks, they all just sigh. This tomato case might run me dry. Did it roll out the door to start a new life? Run from the chopping block and kitchen knife. Perhaps it's hiding beneath the sink, plotting a daring escape. I think I've questioned everyone in the room. The cheese, the lettuce, even the broom.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
They all just sigh. This tomato case might run me dry. I've questioned everyone in the room. The cheese, the lettuce, even the broom. But no one speaks, they all just sigh. This tomato case might run me dry.
Yeah, it stinks when they keep stuff from you. Sorry to hear that, EMS. I'll be praying for you. So these silly songs help a little bit, then maybe, I hope. That's like a little laughter to, well, laughter's the best medicine. So, let's see. Here we go.
Chocolate drips like a midnight stream. Caffeine wakes me from a hazy dream. Nicotine whispers it's my in-between. Without them all, I'm wrecked. Chocolate, caffeine, nicotine's my team. Life without them's a silent scream. Sweet and bitter, they fill my scene.
Chocolate's the love, can't get enough. Chocolate caffeine, nicotine's my tea. Life without them's a silent scream. Sweet and bitter, they fill my
Well, if anyone can't understand what, real life takes precedence no matter what you do.
The world spins fast, it's hard to cope. These little sins, they're my rope. Don't judge my vices, they give me hope. Without them, I'm just sliding down the slope. Chocolate, caffeine, nicotine's my tea. Life without them's a silent scream. Sweet and bitter, they fill my sea. Without them, I'm a little too weak. The world spins fast, it's hard to cope. These little sins, they're my rope. Judge my vices, they give me hope. Without them, I'm just sliding down the slope. Chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, Spawn Trooper doesn't mind people being on his replay crew. Granted, you miss out on half the fun of the chat conversations, but if you don't mind hearing the drama involved with it, you'll probably find it on someone else's stream. Try to twist it and turn it and jab a knife through it. But anyways. What else should we do here? Here's one my wife really enjoys.
Woke up this morning in a masquerade, faces shifting like a shadow parade. Who's at the doorway? House where the guests don't stay. Which of my 23 will greet you today? The dreamer, the schemer, or the one who's afraid? A kaleidoscope, heart spinning in disarray. Which of my 23 will come out to play? One likes the silence, one craves the sound. One's lost in the clouds while one's on the ground. Ooh, I'm a puzzle with pieces that never quite fit. Ooh, a spark in the dark, a flame that won't quit. Ooh, which of my 23 will greet you today? The joker, the fighter, or the one who's afraid? A whirlwind of colors that won't fade away. Which of my 23 will come out to play? They all speak thinking riddles, they all want control. Each one a fragment of a fractured whole. But maybe you'll see through the cracks and the haze. A soul that's just searching for steady days. Each of my 23 will greet you today. The healer, the breaker, or the one who's betrayed. A shifting reflection.
Sorry to
in
hear
a
that,
glassy
Amos.
display. Which of my 23 will come out to play?
It's all right. This is a hangout. Just have fun, chit chat. The other drama is not here. This is Kicking It's about. It's just hanging out, being friendly. Just I don't do gaming. I don't have a computer worth it, and it's just most I can do is just have fun with a little bit of music. And now we're trying to replay the one I was trying to play earlier, which is kind of, in a way, me doing my bitching.
I've grown heavy, like a float in the air. A parade of struggles I can no longer bear. Sleep's a stranger I meet with the hum. A machine whispers when the silence won't come. Breath comes shallow, but I fight to stand tall. Pride's a shield even when I might fall. A stubborn heart beats in this weathered frame. Veterans fire burning, untamed by shame. Each step feels like a war I once knew. The battles are different, but the scars stay true. Oxygen's my ally, though it feels like defeat. But this fight's my own, I won't retreat. Breath comes shallow, but I fight to stand tall. Pride's a shield, even when I fall. A stubborn heart beats in this weathered frame. Veterans fire burning, untamed by shame. They don't see the weight that I carry inside. The parade balloon tethered, nowhere to hide. But there's strength in this storm, a calm in the fight. I hold on to the morning, I'll make it through the night. Breath comes shallow, but I fight to stand tall. Pride's a shield, even when I might fall. A stubborn heart beats in this weathered frame. Veterans fire burning, untamed by shame.
Okay, so that's kind of my letting it out song a little bit. Uh, yeah, as I admit, I'm blown up like a Macy's Day balloon, especially that toy Santa one or whatever you want to call it, that big round one. I'll admit it. No shame in my game. No. Uh, well, granted, these are all generated through AI, but I try to come up with some good concepts and some good music behind it. Figure out what sounds best. Sometimes it takes a few tries. Let's see. The heck, I did this one, which is kind of the follow up to the infamous Teddy Bear's Picnic. Teddy Bear's Revenge.
In the forest where secrets grow tall, teddy bears once gathered for it all. Now the laughter's gone, replaced by a glare. Me where we're beyond repair. The stitches are torn, the fur's in a twist. No more tea parties, no hugs, no bliss. The clothes come out, the night turns in. The teddy bear's revenge begins on a whim. Once we were soft, cuddly and sweet. Now we're marching with vengeful feet. Fury and stitched with pain. The woods will never be the same. The stitches are torn, the fur's in a twist. Parties, no hugs, no
Hey, Zed, welcome. Nice to see you.
clothes come the night turns grim.
Oh, darn it. Let me know when I can be heard clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dag nabbit, silly rabbit. If you didn't hear me, hello, Zed. Zed's place. I'm not getting any indicator on the main page. And again, this backup laptop stinks. It's not even a laptop. It's not even it's called an HP Stream, and it's. I think Chromebooks have better specs. Sheesh. Oh. Feel free to drop your link, Zed. That's part of the reason why I gave you the wrench there. That and I know who you are, and I've been to your stream, so not in a while, I'll admit. So I apologize about that, but I've had my own bouts of electricity issues. Electricity/internet. Oh boy, does it. I just wish I had a place I could call my own that I could yell at the kids to get off my lawn. Get to that point. Hey, you get off my lawn. Oh. It is what it ain't. It ain't what it is. So, obviously, okay. Be like that. Here we go, switching back over. Okay. Oh, don't need the echo stuff. I can afford it. All right. Okay, now hear me now. A little better. Oh. Semi sort of switching devices. So, I'm going to go ahead and play some of my other songs I've played before. There's not too much echo here. So, one way to help take care of that. All right.
Demons whisper, shadows cold like ice, spreading their rumors, their wicked device. But a prayer ignites where the dark
Verizon.
denies. A beacon of hope piercing through the skies. Warriors kneel with fierce resolve on stone. Their whispers shake the devil's throne. Faith is their armor, their voices aflame. Each prayer a victory in Jehovah's name. Raise the banners, let the truth take flight. God's angels soar in heavenly light. The shadows may crawl, but they'll never hold. In His name we rise, unshaken, bold. The battle rages, but He's in control, casting out demons, redeeming each soul. His power turns storms to gentle streams, fulfilling His people's highest dreams. The heavens thunder with holy roars, angels charging through celestial doors. Darkness shatters as their swords collide. The victory's written, lights multiplied. Raise the banners, let the truth take flight. God's angels soar in heavenly light. The shadows may crawl, but they'll never hold. In His name we rise, unshaken, bold.
Careful now. Yeah.
In shadows lurking deep, a light begins to burst.
Have a good time there, EMS.
All eyes will stumble down,
I'll be praying for you.
for truth redeems us first. God's light, it shines so bright, no darkness can conceal. His love is pure and true, His grace we deeply feel.
I know who EMS is. Zed.
every heart
He's been coming to my stream for a
will
while.
God's light will
So
never stay. Unconditional love pouring from above. In every broken heart, His touch will make us whole. God's light, it shines so bright, no darkness can conceal. His love is pure and true, His grace we deeply feel.
in general, the ones that can actually speak up, I generally know who they are. They're in the chat.
Lies
Good,
and
bad, had problems in the past or
deceit
whatever.
will
I know who they are.
fail. With His light we prevail. In faith we lift our eyes to heaven's open sky.
Lord, I know enough about them anyways. May not know all of their real names, but doesn't matter. It's the internet. But I'm glad you showed up tonight. Surprise to me. Got any other good projects?
Lies and deceit will fail. With His light we prevail. In faith we lift our eyes to heaven's open sky.
Oh, that's cool. There's tons of ants around here that could use some art made out of them, but unfortunately, this is kind of a protected area here in Austin. Uh, yeah, doing yeah. Well, that and campus the supplies can get a little expensive too. I'm sure. So, have you checked out my other recent drama? I know this is pretty much my non-drama stream, but just out of curiosity. Hey, Bonnie, welcome, my man. Ah, well, Spawn, you're welcome to come on stream. You have the link, so if you want to come on and say hi and join me that way, you're more than welcome to. I don't know how long you've been hiding in the background. Cow, totally locked up, man. Oh, I've covered it quite a bit. I have a whole separate type of stream dedicated to that nonsense. My mayhem streams. So this is kicking it. This is kicking back, relaxing, de-stressing. I am back. Drink of choice. And there's still more going on with the drama, and there's still more stuff for me to that I'll be fleshing out in future mayhem streams and whatnot. Just I'm biding just a little bit of time. Bond Tripper. There we go. I'm not hearing you yet.
It would be a good idea to actually unmute my mic. Zed, I'm not a person to play games with. At the end of the day, if you're here to support and protect my Eric, then that's good. But don't act the way you are, mate. I've been sitting here for a while. Right, we're here as a community. If you want to do a DNA check on people, that's your choice. But just saying, right, be a little bit nicer. But hello.
Hello, good buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm good. I am very good. What have you been up to? What's going on? What have I missed? What has happened?
Well, for the most part, not a whole lot's happened. I mean, you know about my daughter coming home.
Yeah, that's fantastic news. That is awesome news. That
And then I did a stream regarding all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went into some fun things with that on that mayhem stream. But but as she's came home and she's relaxed, some other things have came to light. And Zed, technically, you didn't do anything wrong, and I appreciate what you were trying to do. Don't mistake things the wrong way. I wouldn't even give you a wrench out the gate if I didn't, know you and trust you. All right, so no worries. It's just Spawn Trooper is a fellow vet, and we're a different breed. So no,
Yeah,
so
Zed, that wasn't intended to be an insult.
yeah. So I just trying to muffle that down.
Yeah,
But yeah, we got and accepting an offer from an organization that was a part of the mix a little bit.
right.
I have a more powerful working generator / inverter type generator that so that provides even cleaner power.
Oh, so
7,000.
you got it fixed, did you? Or did you we what happened?
The one that went down is not fixed, and that one's only powerful enough to basically run power plus fans.
Yeah.
Okay, since there was an offer from an organization, I am not one to completely turn down a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not
No.
gonna,
Yeah, I get that.
I accepted it, and they asked what would work, what would actually work for my family, and
Mhm.
I gave them the information, and it took a little bit of doing. It basically took about a week from the time the offer was made till it was completed.
Mm.
But yeah, so I have a different
I mean,
generator and as well. So once I get the other one fixed, it'll be a good backup generator, or at least for winter time or when it's cooler out, where I don't need as much power. But this one can power the window air conditioners as well.
I mean, the generator that you got, what is it? Is it like a 1500 watt generator?
The,
Or
the one that I purchased with the scooter at the same time as the scooter, which
yeah,
costs
yeah,
about $550 US,
yeah.
is about a 4200 watt generator.
Right. It, well, I
Uh,
was talking to a friend of mine, who's former. Oh my god, my brain! I've only been awake 20 minutes. I spoke to a friend of mine a while back, and because you mentioned generator, it's fucking. I remembered again, and I totally forgot to tell you. Try to check out army surplus generators, and he says you can get a 3.5 kVA petrol or diesel operated generator, right? And it can power enough, right, up to, what did they say? He said up to 1200 uh, kilowatt. Not kilowatt. What's it
well,
called?
there's different types. You got
Yeah,
the government surplus auction stuff, which are the ones that are basically on the trailers, and
yeah,
those are like 12 kilowatt. You know, 12 bow. Way up to those can power basically a semi trailer comm center.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
But
He said,
unfortunately, those are sitting on trailers that you have to tow separately. And then you have
however, he says you can get what they call a dolly system. And then basically the dolly system, because like if I can remember correctly, you've got two trailers, haven't you? You've got your main vehicle and then you've got the secondary, correct?
the main vehicle, and then I got the trailer behind, which is basically my garage, my shed.
Right,
So
right. He said like the way he's explained, because if I the way he's explained, because I explained to him what you had, he said you can set the generator that you can buy. You can set that over the A frame or at the bend of the A frame. So when you got your A frame coming in towards the trailer. So you got
yes,
your towing hook, and then you got your A frame, right?
I did that. I did that with the initial generator that we had. I attached
Yeah,
it to the A-frame of the tow dolly when we had the car on a tow dolly,
yeah,
set up instead of a trailer.
yeah,
That's what I did. That's where I kind of put it, and let the exhaust and all that.
yeah.
And
Because
it's that kind of funny because the A-frames are kind of small, and the generators are a little extra large, but at an angle,
no,
it can be
yeah.
done.
But what he says stick it on the inside. If like, because you've got your trailer covered, he said stick it on the inside of the A frame, so on the inside of the actual housing of the trailer. All right, and then you can drill a hole down the bottom, and then you can have the exhaust coming from there. And then so basically you can then have like an extension connection from the generator to the side of the trailer, and then you can have a weatherproof connection on the outside, and then on the inside it's all trunked up and everything else. And I was like, huh. And he showed me, and I was like, it wouldn't cost a penny. The only thing that would cost would be the generator. And you know what a 3.5 kVA generator can do?
Yeah, well, there's also the exhausting system. I mean, you have to, the tubing and stuff to exhaust out and make sure that nothing's going to get too hot and burn anything down.
Well, you just
Uh,
wrap it.
but
You just wrap it up.
well, no, most generators here that are sold here in the United States now, the
Yeah.
portable generators and stuff, uh, they don't even have any exhaust tubing on them. You got basically an inch and a half, if that, and it's got a little spark arrestor screen on them.
No, that's not good.
I mean, you can take the screen off because you don't need the spark arrestor if you got, a 12-foot pipe, and then the exhaust itself is only about a inch pipe.
Hmm. It only has to be 2 meters away. I mean, the pipe, the extension pipe for the exhaust only has to be 2.5 meters, if I can remember correctly. Because when
Yeah,
we used to,
you can route any which way, and Unfortunately, thanks to California, yeah, things have gotten really funky here in the U.S. on our generators and stuff. They don't, yeah, offer and to be environmentally friendly. But no, this new generator that was purchased for us
Yeah.
out the gate costs about $1,300,
Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
and that's from a place called Harbor Freight, which is supposed to be like
Yeah.
discount
I've heard of
discount
that
stuff.
company. I've heard of that company. I've heard a lot. Yeah. Go
And
on.
this
Yeah.
one, the running wattage is 7,000.
Oh shit. That's good. That's seven. Yeah, that's good.
And because technically a 30 amp RV, 120 volt takes 3,600 watts running everything. Running max through the cord. And then I only basically have an extension cord with and a surge protector on the other end, to run a couple of things like a smart light and a couple of things in the trailer,
Yeah. Yeah.
just for lighting and basic
Yeah.
access.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have?
I'd love to have the trailer wired up a little bit more than that, and then we've got two. We've ended up with one given and one purchased from a pawn shop. A couple of window air conditioners. The air
Oh,
conditioner
the
on the
small ones.
RV, the bearings went out in the fan.
Yeah, the small ones, the portable ones.
Yeah, the ones
The
you can
ones.
stick in and out of your window,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and because the chassis on this thing's an old Ford van, a 1990 Ford van chassis.
Mm.
It fits in the front window with room to spare. They fit in the front windows. But yeah, but we recently were able to get even though it's smaller than the one that's in here, which is still smaller than the original, little refrigerator from Walmart, little 120 volt refrigerator. Like a little, well, we call them like a apartment or motel room size, or dorm room size refrigerators. Has like a place for like 6 cans of soda or beer in the door, and the freezer's inside with a little flip up, and it's not much of a
Mhm.
freezer.
Yeah, I was just thinking because I know that like you can.
But no, my goal is because this old refrigerator that came with the RV.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, your mic's working fine.
Oh right, fucking hell. Okay,
I'm just being a bad host and interrupting. That's all.
nothing new.
Love you, buddy. Love you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect anything, but I wouldn't expect anything nicer from from a navy. But hey, no. What I meant, right now that oh God, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh no, right. Your system on your RV. Okay, let's just because my brain's fucking doing overtime now. Do you have a convert power save system on your RV? So where when you're running your generator and you're using generator for your main power, do you have like a system where you can connect your your power that's coming from the generator and it goes through the system and it charges marine batteries, and then when your generator is not working and your engine is running and you're driving, it charges the system, and then when both the engine and the generator are not working, you've got the backup the battery system that can then generate the power that you need.
Yes, no, sort of. It's kind of
I don't
complicated.
hate you, Zed. I don't know what you're on about. I don't. I'm just very protective over my friends, mate. Right, so don't think that I don't hate anybody. Right, so don't. Yeah,
That's what he said. You are nowhere near Spot Trooper's list.
yeah,
And
yeah,
trust me, I know what that list is. Well, some of it. I know. As far as U.S. people, I know what that list is. Oh yeah, anything across the pond, I don't. But that's a different list. But
no. Zed, you're
no,
good.
this
You're
is an older RV, so yes, it does have the built-in inverter. But I don't think that built-in inverter that's supposed to charge the house battery, aka the
good.
marine battery, as we call it,
Yeah,
has been working properly. So one of the things I did was when I do have shore power coming in,
Yeah.
I have I bought it off of Amazon, an actual, okay, I'll give that a second. Uh, I have an actual battery charger that goes to the house battery and charges it that way. And yes, the alternator is supposed to charge up when running, but it only charges up to like 75, 80%. But I also have usually sitting out my solar panels that are also wired into the house battery to charge that way as well.
And they're all free running charging, yeah?
They all they all work in unison and tandem, as needed.
Right.
Well,
Right. Okay.
other than starting the automotive
Right.
the automotive side.
Right. If you're only getting 70, right, you're only getting 70, 80% of charge.
No, from the alternator, from actually operating the engine.
Right.
That was designed not to charge it fully. Back in the
Which is, yeah.
90s, they weren't designed to do a full house battery charge.
Right. So what's the generator doing? Sorry. Do you have like a meter to check if what the charge is from the solar panels or the generator?
I don't have a meter that tells me exactly. I do know that when the battery charger that I have, when the
Mm,
system gets to about 12.7, 12.8,
mm.
it will go green. But I do have an overall for the house system because through the solar panels, I do have a meter on that gives me the overall voltage of the batteries.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you got trickle charge, which the solar panels could technically do, because they operate, and at the moment you got daylight, they'll start fucking working. But
And
I've got,
the daylight maxes out at a total of 14.2 volts going to the batteries.
mm,
And then once the sun starts to set, I'll get a true accurate reading of where the batteries are.
mm. How many batteries have you got? How many batteries have you got?
Well, the way this thing came, I've got the one house battery under the hood, and then I got the automotive battery, which is also marine deep cycle. And currently, because the alternator has been acting funny, and whatnot, I do currently have a set of jumper cables going between the two to where, because the alternator wasn't doing a full charge back and forth, so I did that to give myself the extra leeway because when driving, the panels are portable. They're just sitting on the hood, sitting on the hood of the RV.
Mm.
Catch, the daytime, they get folded up and put inside.
Do you know? It sounds like your alternators. It sounds like you either got a bad fucking fuse
The
box or your alternator.
alternator's going, and it also doesn't help that this old thing has a smog pump on it that I had to bypass because that pulley froze up.
Right. Have you checked? Have you checked all the relays? Well, when was the last time your relays were changed?
Oh, this thing's got so many issues with it. This thing came with issues. That's why I'm hoping we can muddle through some. Because basically, what happened with all the stuff that's happened to us.
Mm.
On the one hand, it shouldn't have happened to us, but on the other hand, it could end up being a payday to help completely replace all this stuff for something new and better.
Yeah.
If the cards are played right. But I mean, it's messed up to say that. It's messed up that it's taxpayers that would have to pay that. But my wife is not exactly rolling over easy on the settlement side of this. Like, no, we're going to take this to jury trial, and we're going to we're going to make sure
Yeah.
some people are held accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what happened. Yeah, that was freaking uncalled for.
Well,
Yeah.
not just the incident of the handcuffs, but the fact that my daughter was kidnapped for almost 60 days.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna come up with some stupid excuse.
Well,
Yeah.
they can try all they want, but the proof is in the pudding. The facts came out on my daughter's birthday, June 9th, that literally they had nothing, and the main person that basically pushed for my daughter's removal is a former public school teacher. Makes you wonder why she's no longer teaching at public schools. She probably got
Oh,
fired
okay.
from that, but not only that, but it was about but it's not against the law to homeschool in this state.
I
In
don't think
fact,
it's
it's
against the law
very,
at all, is it?
huh?
I don't think it's homeschooling is against the law, is it?
It very well. It's not against the law, but different states have different levels of restrictions,
Hmm.
and Texas is the most liberal. Like, say, some say, oh, that you must maintain the same number of school hours as the public schools. You must show that your child has an attendance of so many hours, or
There's a message for you.
certain minimum curriculum must be met.
Yeah.
Texas just says parents can homeschool. That's it. That is all they say in the state of Texas.
Hmm.
There's no restrictions on how many hours, what the curriculum must be, none of it. Because you could basically raise your child up to just basically teach them a trade, and it doesn't matter.
Interesting.
You know, Texas has zero restrictions on. Texas also allows what they call for unschooling. Unschooling is basically like the hippie version of homeschooling. Of
Hmm.
oh, flowers and flora and fauna, and you know, antidotes and prescription. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah, I
potion
get
number
you.
9.
I got you.
I was
Oh,
having a little bit of fun with that.
this is a bad to the people, man. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. I mean, I did. I mean, I've been sitting out for a while, and I just when I woke up first, like I fell asleep um, with YouTube running, and when I woke up to, I was like, "Fucking hell! What? Why can I hear Eric?" Yeah, and then
I've tried to make it. I've tried to kind of make it a point now when when things are running a little somewhat smoothly. Of doing this little kicking back stream here on like a Friday night.
yeah,
It's late. It's late night here in the States. Yeah, some people are out you know, cop watching and doing stuff like that, and other
mm,
people might be off, chasing their dreams away with alcohol. And it's like, you know what? For those of us that are just, that ain't a thing. Here, I'll do it. Here's a place to hang out. Kicking around a campfire type of thing. Just kick back, relax, no drama. Keep the drama and the mayhem and all that at bay, and you know kind of like your Q&A time in a way at the end, the tail end of a lot of your streams.
yeah. I mean, I give people the ability to ask. But a lot of people have just, I've noticed a lot of people don't use it. I don't think they need to ask questions because, like,
Well, they've already asked all the questions they really
yeah,
want to. They've asked all the questions and then some that they'd like to know,
about
but
me.
those extra ones are things that only certain people need to know, and you're
Yeah,
not going to share that out on your stream.
exactly. I
And
mean, like,
everybody's respected that. It's like, okay, we're good.
oh, Zed, come on.
I hope you mean that and get Jess said.
Of
But then
course,
again, he'll wear that douchebag title with pride.
I'm
He's
absolutely,
a
yeah,
not,
I am a douchebag, and I'm proud of it because my douchebaggery,
he's not a UK douchebag. He's a Welsh douchebag. Get it straight.
exactly. I'm a douchebag who has the douchebaggery medal of douchebags, and I just don't like fake people. That's all. I don't like liars, and I don't like bullies. But by the way, considering that you've checked me out, Zed, I've done the same thing, and I like your ant nest statues figurines. They're quite nice actually, but because obviously you are now reacting in emotions, I will talk later and have a nice evening.
Yes, if you actually watch one of his streams, he has his nice reggae tune. He is a Welshman.
And Welshman.
Uh, but yeah, I'm glad you came in and you dropped in.
You calling me a
Good.
liar? What you're
Oh,
saying that? What you're saying that I'm a douchebag? That's not lying. You're telling the truth on that one. Hey Zed, listen. I'm going to put it very straight with you. I'm not in here to cause any problems for Eric or anyone else. But when you sit in a channel as a moderator and you turn around and said, "I have checked you out. I have checked this out. I have checked you out," that's very intimidating for people who don't understand what you mean. And if you don't elaborate, okay, if you said, "Oh, I've checked your channel," and that's different. Right? A moderator is here to support the host. You're not here to intimidate or threaten or make comments like "I've checked you out." Okay, I mean that's all I was saying. I don't care.
and I gave you the ridge because I don't mind you sharing your channel because I think you have some good content. And I apologize, I haven't gone over there as often as I'd like to, just because I've had my own personal things to deal
Mhm.
with. But I gave you the wrench because yeah, I felt I could trust you enough, and sharing your link and as well as general moderator. I mean, but because I think you're a good guy overall. So I haven't seen anything
Said
that would
just stop.
lead me to believe otherwise until, and I hope I'm not saying it now. I'll just say that. I
Said
respect you, Zed,
just stop.
and
Just stop.
but yeah. Any whoozy what's it? Did you catch my some of my new songs when you were listening to me, Spawn?
To be perfectly honest with you, no, because as soon as I woke up, I muted everything, and then I just went in and made myself a coffee.
All right. Well, when you get a chance, go back on the replay. I have a lot of new songs. I
No,
don't have them uploaded to my stream yet,
can I
so
just can I just sort this out, Eric? I'm sorry, but this needs to be sorted. This needs to be addressed, right? Zed, okay. If it was up to me, right now, you'd get your first warning as a moderator. If you were one of my moderators, when I came in, okay, these were your comments, right? EMS, who's a very nice person, said, "Kind of for sorry I missed your message. How about you, Zed? I have been so Nashville, cool, Zed. Right, what part of California you live in? Oops, I have to go. My son is calling me. So watch out for scammers. But I already checked out EMS. Okay, just warning. Exactly 100% or 100. Trying to make some new art. Motivation has come to a standstill. Walks in, looks around, places a weapon back in his holster, and sits down and nods. All right, Zeds, why? And then my simple question is, Zeds, why are you checking out EMS? And then you went, what? Let her about this. Let's hear about this drama. I've checked out everyone's Spawn, even you, Spawn. And then I went, yeah. And then obviously, then you went into one. So listen, all right. Eric is a friend of mine. Eric's been through a lot. And if you're going to sit here, right, to be perfectly honest with you, you're lucky I'm not the main mod because I would have removed that wrench off you. Right,
actually you are, Spawn.
no, there's a difference between looking after someone's head and actually enforcing chat rules. Okay, But as your behavior has already shown me, having a conversation like this is virtually impossible. And two, this is not my platform. So, but anyway, Eric, go on. Sorry. You were seeing
EMS
the
is someone
details
who's been
of
EMS is someone who's been on both Spawn Troopers and my streams. I know who they are.
yeah.
Like I said at the time, is I pretty much whoever comes in here and talks or is active in the chat are people I generally already know.
Right. Okay.
Unless they're one of the 600 plus new subscribers I've gotten recently, but many of them I even know because of the 1A community and going around to other streams on that.
Explain details, Zed. Explain the comment because I was seeing the details of EMS. Explain that, please. Eric,
That's right. I just need to step away for a second for a quick potty break and
yep.
refill my refreshment. So
All right,
I'll be.
Mhm. Zed, what do you mean with because I was seeing her details of EMS? At least you could answer that question, please. You see, this is what you don't do. Morning, Sunday, or evening. I get that, Zed. I'm not saying anything about that. But what you have to understand, excuse me, what you have to understand when people come in and they see comments like that, right, that can be taken out of context. So I'll ask you again, what did you mean with looking at her details? Did you mean you clicked on her name, went to her channel and looked at her YouTube channel? Is that what you mean? Just a question. I'm being extremely serious when I say your ant art is actually quite nice, but that's by and by. I just want to know what you meant with that. Because a moderator is responsible that people don't break the rules, cause problems, or abuse or bully people. And there are certain rules when you come into people's chats. It's not our job to intimidate. Right. Well, at the end of the day, if EMS or anyone did anything wrong, there's no need to go and check their profile because you could have asked Eric. Right. You see how easy things can be taken out of context when you type stuff like that in. Right. Because people will misinterpret what you're saying. Does that make any sense? Now, I'm a moderator in quite a few people's streams, quite bigger streams than us, right? And most of the time, you won't even know I'm there, or even though I'm a mod. And then when I do type, and people go, "Oh, bloody hell, he's a mod," they're surprised. Long-term scam in what, Zed? What do you mean? I mean, look, I'm trying to de-escalate this. I'm trying to understand you and you me. What do you mean a long-term scam? No one's going to scam Eric. No one's going to scam EMS. No one's going to scam you or me or anyone else.
And I'm back. Uh, Come to find out, I figured out what my daughter was thinking was a cat outside that she'd been seeing outside. No, it's a skinny possum.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Step
I
out
don't
my
understand.
door to go to the ice chest outside to grab a soda, and I'm greeted by a skinny possum about the size of a cat, size of a house cat.
I'm done, Zed. I wish you all the best. But the thing is, your art, your ant art is very nice. I think you should put a little bit of like lighting underneath to give it a. But yeah, but again, I mean, there's been times
And
I've
welcome,
been.
Sunday. I saw Sunday say hi there. So
Yeah. Sunday said I. I'll give you an example. You can ask Eric. I've sat in Eric's streams multiple times, even when I was live, because I've got multi screens. And even when I was live, I would sit in his stream and I'd be watching his chat, and you'd never know. And one day I actually turned around on my stream and said, "Oh yes," and he was like, "Well, you could fucking come in once in a while." Yeah, I have to
I
apologize.
usually try not to stream at the same time you're streaming.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think you got a little bit pissed off when I said that I actually sit outside and I just sit out there and
Well,
listen.
I
And
know you sit outside, and so I make sure that I throw a few songs your way that I think you'd appreciate.
yeah, which I do. Hi Sunday, which I do. Um,
And Zed, Zed, if you're still listening, I gave you the wrench. I was, because I felt you were someone I could trust, and yeah, I didn't give it to you. I and at some point I might give it back to you. Wow, wasn't expecting that all to happen. And trust me,
nor
if certain other people were up to the level I could trust them as my moderators, I would give them the wrench. And there's some people that don't even know that I exist on YouTube that automatically will have a wrench if they ever show up, just so they can share their their links and stuff. And
and
some of it, and I'll say this, Bond, some of the people we both follow and approve of.
I'm what they call. I'm like that one of those guard dogs that people share around the village.
Well, as long as you ain't going around, as long as you ain't the sheep shagger going around the
No,
village.
no, shut up. No, don't you start on me, you.
You already started on me. You
What are you
you,
on
go,
about? I didn't do
you
anything
like to
wrong.
run. You like to run and gun.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm like. I say it as it is. I don't beat around the bush. Maybe
Well,
that's why people
I'm
don't
going to
like
hold
me.
back on that. I'm going to hold back on that.
Yeah, I think you
There's
should.
maybe one bush you'll beat around, but I'm not going to go
No,
there.
no,
She'll
bad
probably
Eric.
come after me with a rolling pin.
No, bad Eric.
Mrs.
Wait a minute.
Bond Trooper.
Why do you think I use this picture? 7 p.m. wrestling myself lowering. I'm booked all day. I can't miss that one again. No. Oh God. No, it's yeah. Sunday had a good Sunday had a good comment. But all I was doing is I was just protecting both sides. I was protecting, just because you can't accuse everyone of things unless you got facts and proof, and you don't abuse your position.
Yeah. Because I like this stream, and I wanted him. One thing he didn't do that I wanted him to do was share his link. So, I had no problem. Somebody sharing their link to their stream. In fact, you can go ahead and drop your link anytime you want.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, like, yes, yeah. Did you hear what happened a few weeks ago?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I listen to a lot of your streams, but sometimes I miss the first hour.
Yeah,
So,
about the someone asked me to, well, didn't ask. They were sort of like trying to get me to drop my link in Take Mug in Tug and
oh
Megan's
yeah,
stream.
that one, yeah, yeah, over in the how do they call that?
Yeah,
The Umbrella Fox stream. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, very politely, I have to go ahead and
Oop, I can't throw that away.
yeah, I can't go ahead and do that. That would be disrespectful, to the host for me to just walk into their house and take a shit and then walk back out. Pardon my French. You know, and I knew straight away what that was. So I went game on, and you saw what happened.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately,
they just don't. They just don't know what to do with you, do they?
nope.
All those people trying to. They think they got you with something, and then you come back. It's like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, I mean,
You missed. It went across the bow. Oh, that one went around aft. Okay.
yeah, it's like unpredictability is my middle name. Um, but I tell you one thing though, Eric, it's really good news. Really, really good that like you're all together again. And now it's game on. Now it's like pay the piper. You
Of
know.
course, that process can sometimes be slow and painful,
Oh
but
yes, I could tell. I could tell you were hurting. Yeah, I could tell.
but
It was.
no, I'm talking about the loss, the going after them end of it. You know, what,
Oh yeah.
I'll bring it up here, right here with I'll bring it up right here with you, since I've got you right here, and I can get your reaction to this. One of the things that was mentioned that my because the first night, the first day and a half, my daughter was jet lagged. You know, from all the drama and coming home and being brought home late in the evening and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it took her a little bit to start warming back up and and talking to us as parents again. And
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a shock to her system as well. I mean, like she's 12 years old, so it's going to be extremely traumatic for her. She
well,
spent.
wait till you find out how traumatic.
Oh
Let's put
God.
it this way: the apparently some things were said between some people and some other people, namely people in charge of the public school they forced her to attend, in so much that the well, with okay, as a school, it's a public school that has two floors apparently that she was attending. So it has two vice principals, a male and a female. My daughter, this is part of the details my daughter has told me, and this is exclusive. You're getting this now. I was waiting to do this all with something else, but the principal, besides saying some really nasty things about me and my wife, also made death threats on our lives that she happened to overhear.
Wait. Say that one again.
The school principal, according to my
Okay.
daughter.
Okay. Stop. 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 Right. Okay. On that note, don't say anything else. Don't say
Okay.
anything else. All right. From anything to do with this situation now, you no longer talk on air about that. Right. That now needs to be dealt with behind the
Oh,
scenes
it's
privately.
already being dealt with behind the scenes.
Right. Okay.
It's a, it's already being dealt with in certain ways. Um, I'll just say that. But yeah, it was yeah, because my daughter just started crying the second night she was home, and and it took me a little bit, as a parent, you're concerned, as a father, I was concerned, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. She didn't want to tell me, and I finally convinced her to tell me, and then I told her to basically take and without giving me too many details, write down and make a list of all the people who had done something like that, and separate them by organization, basically. If they were foster care, public school, the agency, the court, whomever. If there's somebody that said something and that has her upset like that, to basically do like what me and you know how to do, especially you know how
Mm,
to do, Spawn, which is
yeah,
take the emotion back out of it and start putting, and you know, break it down
yeah,
to the logical side.
yeah.
You know, I
I
used to
mean,
be a security guard too, so I know how to write incident reports. So as an incident report, you don't put emotions. I felt threatened. No, they did this. This is what. Yeah, and blah 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 blah. You state the statement of facts. And I do plan on at some point sitting down with her, and because the reason I wanted her to write down names and organizations, and if they
mm,
did more than one thing, to basically put checks next to their name of the multiple times, break it down.
break it down. I mean,
Yeah,
I would recommend. I mean, I mean, I've got a daughter as well, and with 12 years old, they used to bounce off the walls and everything. What what I would what I would recommend is, she's
and
only been
so
back.
he's not
Are you
stupid
gonna
and he's not drunk. He might be a wanker, but he ain't stupid or drunk.
wait? Drunk? I'm not drunk. Um, I just said that I woke up about anyway too early in the morning. Leave me alone. Right. She's only been back what 2 weeks now? Yeah. If
Not
well,
even barely a week. Barely a
yeah,
week.
about a week. I this is my person as a father to father, dad to dad. Give it a couple of weeks. Let her settle back in. Let her get back into a routine, and then just just go right. How you feeling? Do you want to talk? And just basically, you need to allow her to come away. She's had a traumatic experience, so she needs to have that space to, and even if she vents, right, give her that space to vent, and but be there for because like
Oh,
with
I
everything,
I have. That's one of the biggest things. Just letting
yeah,
her know she's home, she's safe, uh, she's loved. She's good to go.
yeah.
What I see, but yeah, that was just something little extra that came into play. That was like, say what? Yeah,
I missed that.
they were automatically held for review. Mm.
Oh, come on, Zed. Don't really.
No, they weren't Zeds. There was somebody,
No,
unless
no. It is. It is. It is. Oh.
my channel's my channel. Spawn Trooper's always welcome here because it's more about the veterans than
I like the
than
ants.
anything else.
I like the. I must admit, I do like the ant art.
I do too. He does some great ant art
Yeah,
and termites or whatever.
yeah,
If I could afford to buy a piece off of them, I would. I don't know
yeah.
where
I
I'd
think
put
you.
it unless I tried to use it as a hood ornament, but I think that stuff would be a little too delicate for such a matter.
Yeah, I
But
think you got more important priorities than a freaking. But I must admit, they are quite nice. Even though he's acting like a complete tit, but yeah,
what it is, what it ain't what it is. Oh boy.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like yeah. Bless her cotton socks. I mean, like it must have been a scary experience for
Oh,
her.
it was. I mean, and even oh man, it's just
Yeah, but you sound
so much I'd like to say about it, but I'm holding off on purpose. I'm giving some. a certain time frame of stuff to pass that so that way they don't try to pull what they've already tried pulling, but they've already pulled once.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think they should be trying it on with you now. I mean, like, yeah, I've seen the other video. I've seen the other incident with the person driving past, or that could be pure coincidence. But if it happens multiple times, then you know it's deliberate. So that's when basically you need to then either
Well,
report it because.
did you catch the part that witness? Remember how we were talking about the distance away?
Mm,
The distance away the witness was, the trail from the RV.
yeah.
She was less than half that distance and misidentified my wife as me in the courtroom.
Oh my God.
And that was right out the gate under questioning, under cross. I mean, literally out the gate, she misidentified my wife, saying my wife was me. And
Well,
and admitted to assuming things that happened that didn't happen. She assumed. She was
well, you
about
know
the
what?
worst witness on the stand ever. It's like, where's
Well,
your glasses, woman?
Well, you know what they say about the Navy, that you guys do like to wear skirts on the weekends, don't you?
Well, that's the new Navy. That's not the Navy I was in.
Oh yeah, you wore mini skirts, didn't you? Yeah.
No, I wore dungarees. I was stuck in the prison uniform, basically Alcatraz on wheels. Come on now. I was aboard an
Oh,
aircraft carrier. It was Alcatraz. The joke was it was basically Alcatraz on wheels.
yeah.
And they do not have a McDonald's on board, or a Burger King, or a Taco Bell, or anything like that. Yeah, they have some ship stores, but what you find in the ship stores is pretty,
Yeah.
you know.
What do you call it on the ship
I
stores?
mean,
A commissary, wasn't it?
basically kind of like your PX on base,
There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but each one, but they were more like little dunk type places. I mean, one was basically mostly nothing but snacks. One of them had some like ship's clothing and stuff like that. Ball caps and shirts and
Yeah.
stuff. And they had different hours of operation. But yeah, like you want to buy, like you want to take some of your paycheck and buy a couple ball caps and a Zippo to send home to send home to family or
Yeah.
friends. You could do
I mean,
that.
we used to call ours the tuck shop, but then again, uh, what used to happen is that like you would have one vehicle that would be full of like cigarettes and all different bits, and then you'd have another vehicle which was richly guarded by everybody, and that was your beer truck.
Well, see, that was one of the things that I got. I did get a chance because we had a surprise port of call, and that was the island of Malta.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, we were the first aircraft carrier since World War II to pull into Malta. The first U.S. aircraft carrier. And part of that was because the Russian aircraft carrier that we just got through assisting was allegedly going to try and do the same thing. Because the reason we were assisting was because their water filtration system to make seawater into fresh drinking water failed.
Oh right. Okay.
And instead of us sending over some engineers to help them repair it, they basically just said, send over a bunch of jugs of water. Of fresh water type of deal. Russian pride versus Americans. Yeah. But they did have some brass come over, and it just happened to be it just happened to be while for example, my unit got there during the deployment, our lobster dinner. For the enlisted, so here comes the Russian brass with the American brass escort, and they come through and basically talking about how the Americans eat so good.
Oh, talking about enlisted. Your terminology of right. Here's a question for you.
Non-coms.
No, that's the wrong answer. Over in the United States, you've got regular forces, you've got
National Guard and you got reservists, correct? Right.
Yes.
So when the National Guard or the reservist are called into active duty, do they classify that as enlisted as well?
Okay. Enlisted is more of a set of ranks. Everyone's considered, and it's all considered an enlistment.
So it's a generic
But
terminology.
enlisted ranks versus officer
Right.
ranks.
So right. I just wanted to confirm that. So it is a generic terminology to differentiate between basically like junior ranks and officers. So anything up to senior NCO
Yes.
/ officer. Right. Okay.
Like say our officer program doesn't start basically the Mustangs like a certain person became. Yeah. Basically we have our E ranks, E1, E2, E3, which E3 is when you're a seaman, an airman, a fireman, a corpsman, hospital corpsman, in those categories. And then E4, E5, and E6 are our petty officer ranks.
And then East.
Our basic petty officer ranks. E7, E8, and R9
Senior.
are our chief petty
So
officer
your
ranks.
senior ranks, yeah. And then after 9,
And
it goes
then,
to
basically E7, starting at E7 is when you can start wearing is when you switch from the dungarees and the basic sailor uniforms in the Navy to khakis.
Because then you go from
khakis and brass buckles.
Yeah, because then you go from E9 to O1.
No, we actually have a little bit of something in between in the Navy.
Okay, go on.
And it has varied over the years. We have CWOs.
Oh,
Chief Warrant Officers.
Chief Warrant Pay Officer, yeah.
And depending upon what decade or what era you serve in, there's been up to 4 Chief Warrant Officer ranks.
Okay.
Usually 3, but sometimes 4, depending upon how big the forces are.
And then after that, that's when you get the O categorization, don't you?
01, 02, 03, the officers.
Yeah. Right. So my theory and everything, the research and everything I've done, oh God, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
And of course, the biggest joke you'll hear between the Navy and the Marine Corps is that the Marine, they're the men's department. No, they're Department of Navy. And basically, the Chief of Naval Operations is the one that signs both Navy and Marine Corps paychecks. On the paper checks, who signs off on the pay stub is the Chief of Naval Operations. So they're all, no matter what, they're always considered Department of Navy.
Yeah, I mean, like, hang on a minute.
And every aircraft carrier has a Marine detachment permanently attached to the ship that is basically the security forces aboard ship.
Yeah,
and would be the ones if you watch Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, the ones that are chasing them through the hangar of the hangar of the aircraft of that aircraft carrier, which happened to actually be the Lincoln, not the real Enterprise. Was basically would have been the Marine detachment that was chasing their butts down.
Check your private chat. Thank you, my dearest. Good morning, by the way. I'm talking to Eric.
I can hear every single section in this section. Don't worry
about it. Okay. And that needs to stay private, by the way.
Okay. Not surprising.
No,
I'll just say
it didn't
that.
surprise me either. I had sort of a thought. I had sort of a thought.
But
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And for anybody that's hanging out, you're more than welcome to say hello. If you know how to reach out to me privately, I'll drop the link and you can come join and just hang out and chat, or at least give a thumbs up like, subscribe, thumbs down if you really want to. Comment on the video afterwards. I don't care.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Thumbs
Rumble,
down. Doesn't that mean
follow.
someone
Yeah.
has to be sacrificed in the Colosseum?
Let them eat cake.
But I tell you one thing, mate. I am really happy for all three of you. Really, really happy. I mean, a big congratulations is in order for you. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that it had to that it happened in the first place.
Yes, but if anything, it happening to us, being as stubborn as we are, and the veterans that we are with our disabilities, shines a glaring light onto them.
Oh, not just that.
They basically have FAFO'd themselves into a heck of a corner.
Well, not just that, but it's also put a spotlight on how that system deals with individuals, and especially those two police officers that they need to be checked, because like he was just waiting for something to happen, and she just thought it was funny. The fact that she was grinning and laughing, well, not laughing, more like going that.
Well, since law enforcement in the U.S. is allowed to lie to you
That's true. Yeah.
for unfortunately stupid Supreme Court rulings, the fact that they all said they didn't know a certain person basically means diddly poop on my video.
Yeah.
Because if you really kind of dig down a little bit into the more recent one, the one to the Cajun videos, that said, to that officer who has been on the force for 23 years, and he is pretty much the same age as the officer that I reported that the report went to IA. He's in the same age bracket. So therefore, you're telling me that, and then he, on his business card, it doesn't even give his badge number. It says senior police officer. Okay, how can you be a senior police officer 23 years and not at least make the rank of
I
corporal?
mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, like like when I showed you my veteran ID, it has all my details on it. It has my rank on it. It has my name on it. It has my date of birth on it. It has everything on it. Now, if I was a title chaser, or if I wanted to be, or sound good, then I could be going, oh, I am so and so, medals, this. No, that sounds like to me that instead of actually educating police officers like on skill fade, because like once they leave training, they don't get that much of a training anyway. And then when they leave, they go out with their FTOs. They're on the road with their FTO. What is it, for a year or something? Or they
I don't know. It varies. I mean, if there's a show called The Rookie where it seems like it was a 3-month or 6-month program. If you watch that,
I haven't watched that actually.
program,
I've seen a couple of clips of it, and I want to watch. It looks quite good actually.
The same guy that plays in the show Firefly.
Is it?
You've seen the Canadian program Firefly, right?
I mean, if that, I love that program.
That's the same actor.
Oh, then I need to watch The Rookie then, because like I'm a big fan of that guy.
Yeah, he's really good. And they've been talking, and there was hints I was hearing that apparently they were talking about rebooting Firefly.
Oh, please do, please do. Yeah.
Considering that was a Canadian program, so Canadian sci-fi, so they tend to stick with things a little bit better than the U.S. when on rebooting anything.
But then going back to this police thing, I mean, like I watched those videos, and one thing, the fact that,
but I did make him lose the plot when I sat there and said he hated veterans.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
Boy, did he lose the plot.
But at the same time, he was scared. You could tell he was scared. The body posture, the face expressions, he was scared. I mean, if
And I was just sitting down. I wasn't doing anything threatening. I was sitting down in my rollator. That's the only thing I can sit in besides my scooter.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that anyone who's served in the armed forces knows: when you do crowd control or when you do riot control training, right, that confidence, right, suddenly appears. And the thing is, when you're in a confrontation with someone, you don't show fear. You show, hey, I'm here. This is me, and come and deal with it. But that guy, as a police officer, you get trained to de-escalate. You are trained to interact with whoever you're talking to.
And basically, he was acting like he was a field training officer, and the other officer, the female officer that was with him, on that more recent, where he referenced as Cajun, the more recent 2-part there.
How long did you check how long they'd been?
He was behaving like a field training officer.
Have you checked how long both of them had been in service?
He claims to have been working with APD, the local police department, for 23 years.
What, that young guy?
No. You're talking about the other two, Hughes and Willis.
Yeah.
The ones that pulled out shiny bracelets with their egos.
Yeah.
I could tell both of them were less than 3 years on the force.
Because they had new gear.
They were rookies.
Yeah, because everything they were wearing was brand spanking new.
Everything they were wearing was brand spanking new. They were still wet behind the ears. They looked like they forgot to wash the soap off the back of their ears. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I hear you. 5 by 5 on that one. Yeah.
Get back there. Watch the back of your ears.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I mean, maybe the lack of. I mean, when it comes to those two clowns, maybe it was the lack of experience and the lack of training that caused that situation, because that could have been handled completely differently. They could have.
The thing is he completely shut off his ears and wasn't listening to a word I was saying. Yeah. I mean, I said there's alternatives. I was screaming the alternatives to him. That would have de-escalated the situation and provided an alternative, such as him. But for some reason, he wasn't willing to stand in front of me.
Yeah, but the thing is, one thing you have to understand.
Question me.
One thing you have to understand, and I think I've mentioned this before privately, is that when people raise their voices or when people are agitated, which fucking fully rightfully so you were, right, and rightfully so, right. But the thing is, if you are trained correctly to deal with high level of stress and everything else, he should have just walked away a little bit and let her. Because one thing, it's really strange that when a woman, and I'm not being sexist here, when a woman approaches a man when he's pissed off, 99% of the time the man will then calm right down because he doesn't want to be rude towards a lady. And that's like a reverse psychology, trying to de-escalate. And that's what should have happened. They should have tried to communicate with you and tried to had a two-way conversation. But you had every right to be pissed off, and you had every right to go, do what you did, film everything, for transparency and accountability. But yeah, they approached that wrong. So whoever trained them needs to fucking look at
almost that their training officer was the same one that gave me tickets a couple of times.
What, that sergeant, that female sergeant?
That Cajun.
Right, yeah. He was a pleb.
The way their behavior and everything, and their attitude and egos, seem it's a large city here, but the thing is, one, they have had a law enforcement officer shortage. So much so that they've had to have county and state come in and assist with patrols.
Maybe that's causing a problem.
For whole sections of the city.
Well, maybe that's causing a disconnect then. Maybe that's where the
So they're
problem
getting
is.
all
Because
their training from the same training officer
uh,
or officers that are the root of the corruption and problem.
well, not just that, but if you've got different departments, I mean, like if I walked into your galley and I went, right, I'm going to go and repair this, you're going to go, yeah, no, you're not. Why? Do you have the certification? Do you have the training? Have you done the? Have you got? Where's your PPE? Where's this? Where's that? You know, you're going to stop me from going into your department and start working on something, aren't you? So why aren't they? So if they're using different departments to come into, to support their lack of personnel, you're going to have a disconnect because each different county has different policies when it comes to.
Well, see, the thing is, one of the things I've noticed as well that's been going on is that okay, the ones that are patrolling that are say county and state level law enforcement, we've never had a problem with. And in general, the night crew and the main early day crew
Mm.
of officers, we generally don't have a problem with.
It's the day jobs.
It's those that are right there during that time frame, and it's only when they seem to be rotated over to this side of the city, into this division. They have the city separated into downtown, the capital area, basically, southwest, southeast, northeast, northwest.
Interesting.
Using the interstate as the main divider and downtown / the river, Lady Bird Lake and the river as the boundary, as the boundary lines.
That's weird. When when I was younger, I used to dream of
And in fact, because we'll go months without a problem, without and dealing with decent officers. For example, we watched, for example, one patrol through this evening. Not an issue. They just kept on going.
yeah, but they're
And
not.
most of them even will turn on when they see our RV. No matter where we've been parked, they will turn off their spotlight going past us, knowing that
Yeah.
usually me and my wife are sitting up and late at night, and my wife has vision problems. They are respectful.
Mm-hmm.
They're super nice. They're respectful. Not an issue. And then they'll turn on their side, and they'll turn off their their takedowns, or whatever you want to refer to them as, their searchlights and takedowns. They'll turn their spotlights. They'll turn them off when they get close to our RV, and then turn them back on after they get past us. Total respect. They give us total respect, knowing we're a ministry and everything else. Whatever their reason for the respect, veterans, ministry, whatever, they give the respect. Okay, and then you got this group that are just, they think everyone out here that isn't living in the sticks and bricks is homeless pieces of garbage and everything else, drug addict and everything else. Not.
Yeah, that's just stereotypical, isn't it? Really.
Basically they have a Karen mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people. In fact, I actually know someone over here. They've just moved. Well, sorry, they've just driven to Ireland. They went to Southern Ireland, sorry, for 2 weeks, and they've got a 40-foot. Is it a 40-foot RV? It's like a fucking converted travel bus. One of those big coaches. And
Yeah.
they converted it into an RV, well, a home on wheels. And they've been everywhere. They've been around the UK. They've been abroad and everything.
Oh, well, what I get a kick out of are the converted double deckers. I've seen some of those. I'm like, sweet. If I wasn't so doggone tall, if me and the wife weren't tall, that'd be kind of fun. Extra room.
I mean, I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. they've lived in that RV, and they've got 2 kids. They got a dog and a cat, and they've lived in that RV for 4 years. They haven't lived in a static home for 4 years. So why, at the end of the day, if you call it home, it's home. Just because you're in an RV, or because you could live in a freaking tent, it's a home. Doesn't mean you're homeless. That is your home.
Yeah, that's the biggest comment. We're not homeless. We're houseless. We don't have a sticks and bricks house.
Yeah. And you're doing you're doing exactly the same thing as if you lived in a house. If you're happy, then where's the problem?
People just have an issue with things, such as
Right.
what we ran into with our daughter while we had, we were dealing with them for not only, headaches for us completely for 6 months, 6 months of court battles and BS nonsense, but then, literally like 57, approximately 56, 57 days, my daughter was basically unlawfully seized.
Yeah.
When you break it down, it was an unlawful seizure.
That's bang out of order. Like what happened to your girl, that's unforgivable, to be honest. As a parent, I would have fucking.
And then she was put through more mental and emotional torture and anguish.
Mm-hmm.
From a lot of the things that transpired while she was supposedly for the best interest of the child in their care.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, my friend. Moving forward, right, is to make sure the family unit is, excuse me, is settling back in. She's getting the respite to recover from the traumatic situation, and that goes for you guys as well. And then basically going from there, letting the legal, if there's lawyers involved, let them do their job. You guys, as a family unit, do what you need to do, and yeah, because you should never ever let negative shit control your future life. So there you go.
Oh, ultimately we don't. I mean, yeah, you know
what I mean, don't you?
In fact, if anything, we use it against them. They want to,
Oh yeah.
For example, as you catch in my recordings, the reason we can't leave the area and leave the county like you want us to is because we have a court case. We've been, until this court case is, all this stuff's resolved. I'm sorry, but you get to deal with us.
Yeah, and that's there's an old saying, they shut on your doorstep. It's time you take the package back. It's one of those things.
Especially when they still had my daughter in their care, like during that Cajun's most recent thing. It's like and that was one of the things. That's another thing I've got him on, because the law that he wrote us up for, which that's another fun set of stuff that will be coming out. But I'll go into a bit more detail. But needless to say, part of that law that we were written up for says that they have to offer us an alternative place to go.
And did they?
It's all right there in the recordings. No. His alternative place to go was get the hell out of the county, basically.
It's a shame he didn't say that.
No, that's basically how he said it. There was no.
Oh, is that what, if he said that, that's a different ball game.
Get out of the city, or get out of here. Period. Just get out of here. Period. Not as in, he said it.
Did he say?
Rusty on the exact memory of exactly what he said, but the way it came across was, I don't care where you go, just get the hell out of my jurisdiction. Was impression that came across.
Interesting.
I'll just say it as the impression that came across. I'd have to go back to review the video to see exactly how it was said, but that was the impression. It wasn't, oh, well, you could go park over here in this area, or you could go park over, there was no, because that's what the law states is an offering an alternative, and they're supposed to reach out to local agencies and services. And which
Exactly.
neither, according to the law, that's what they're supposed to do before they can try and enforce the law. And that's supposed to basically be done as a warning before issuing the ticket, issuing the citation.
But the thing that I'm
Let
stuck
alone all
on,
the errors on the citations.
yeah, but the thing is I'm stuck on is the comment. Now, if you've got that on recorded and I mean, hypothetically, look, just work with me on this one. Hypothetically speaking, if he said that, or he said it in a different term, in a different wording, but at the end of the day, right? If he doesn't say it in such a way that it's meant like, okay, you can't stay here, you need to move to a different place, maybe in so and so and so and so, which is then outside that district, right? Here's the thing that is where it gets a bit sticky.
That would be meaningful. That would be meaningful because it's offering a
Meaningful, yeah.
specific location. No,
But
there was no specific location.
yeah, now
It's right
this
there
is
in the officer cage and stuff, hose picker. Nice to see
right.
you. Welcome.
Just hear me out on this one. If there's two things that has to be considered. The first point is the terminology used in that sentence towards you. Okay, that's the first point. All right. The second thing is your ability, and I'm not saying that you're thick or you don't understand English or whatever, but it's your ability, hypothetically speaking, with quotation, hypothetically speaking, your ability to understand the terminology it's stated when spoken to. So if I say to you, hey, Eric, you can't stay here. You need to move to a different place due to the fact that this and this. There's only by law of the land, you can only stay here for a certain period of time. However, if you go to so and so place or so and so and so and so, you have a little bit more leeway. You can stay there a little bit longer. So in the next couple of days, can you sort of like pack up and start and then move there? Now that. Right?
That is reasonable. That would fall under the law and be reasonable.
Exactly. But when you turn around and say you need to move, you need to get your shit and you need to get out, you need to move, right? That there, yeah, he's in a lot of doo-doo. Because he does not have the jurisdiction or the right to do that. And even as a non-American citizen, even I know that you cannot do that. Because I thought America was the land of the free, the brave, and
Well, that and the primary purpose of the law. Okay, if you read the wording of the actual law, the Texas state law that for camping that
yeah,
is being used. Okay, is 90% directed at private lands.
right, got you. Okay.
If unauthorized camping on private lands.
Hi, host picker, by the way. Yeah. Right.
Such as the back end, the back side of Corning glassware, or the back,
Yeah.
somebody's private woods, their deer lease or something, private lands, and the public side of it, and the basic, the public side of it it helps cover certain places that do have camping and stuff, but most of the law is written against tent camping.
Right.
Tent and shelter camping, like in the woods.
Right. Got you.
Not park here on the side of a public street
So let me ask you a question.
with a gazebo, a screened room, a screened gazebo, or what do you want to refer to it as, That
Yeah.
is nothing
Let me-
more than if I had the awnings out on the RV.
well, let me ask you a question. Maybe you'll be able to understand this. Now, I have seen multiple news reports and videos about homeless in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and other major cities due to the
Mhm.
pandemic, and everything else. But there's a one thing I've noticed. There's a multiple RVs and campers up and down the roads, and some of them have been there for quite a long time, like a year, so on, so, but they haven't been moved. So why is it that they're getting treated one way and you are being harassed the other way? Why is it like a different rule for different places or different people?
Well,
I mean,
one,
you're not
that's
harming anybody,
California.
are you?
For
Excuse
one,
me.
that's California. This is Texas. Different, and they have
Yeah.
different laws in the state.
Okay.
Different laws in the cities. California has been trying to crack down on those RVs if they can prove that the RVs are abandoned. That's because that's another rule that they tried pulling on us that Austin, the city of Austin, has that was copied from California, which is a 72-hour, basically abandoned RV parking rule in a residential area.
But that's
Okay.
residential. You're not residential in a residential area, are you?
Yes and no.
Ah,
It
see,
used to
technicality.
be a residential. There's still
Right,
a few residences that refuse to sell their properties to FEMA and
but
the
it's
city.
still right. But it's still a technicality, though. You are
But
not living.
actually, the area since we're parked way here at the back, what we're parked next to, and what's considered basically like a wetlands area.
Ah, see, I noticed stuff.
Because one of the residents who actually is pro people in their RVs and stuff like that, as long as they're not messing with them, they don't care. They
Yeah,
just get concerned when possible flash flooding and stuff because this area had the has had the 100-year flood twice within 15 years. you know,
yeah. Well,
so
yeah. I mean, come on. You don't have to worry about that. You're former Navy, so you'll be all right.
yeah, that and RVs tend to sit a little higher than a tent or a house. Most houses.
But can you see where I'm
But
going with this? Can you understand what I mean? It's the fact that they're trying to twist and turn on a technicality where
well,
it
the
is,
officer tried to say that this where we're at was actually the public park area that has 8 hours of operation restriction. No, that one is actually on the other side of the creek, with this, kind of the same name, and where we were parked was considered Onion Creek Forest,
right.
which was also part of the neighborhood, higher than where we are now, where they've created trails and stuff after all the buyouts because they got that whole area bought out. But
Mm,
that has no bars, nothing on the city's website regarding hours. Other than, they got a couple of old wooden signs that mean basically nothing because there's a dog park there.
right. Got you.
And you can't restrict hours on the dog park because if a dog's got to go at 2 in the morning, a dog's got to go at 2 in the morning.
That's true. I ain't been there, know that yet. I know that routine, that's for sure.
It don't matter, So 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. closure. That and the one and the park and the city parks that do have that 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. closure, A, do not have dog parks. B, they have security bars or gates, how you want to refer to them, to cut off access, drivable access on the main road in and out.
Mm. Yeah, I
Okay.
just think I just think that, like, at some point I mean, it's like you need to find yourself a spot where you're surrounded by positiveness, because they're just, I mean, from what I've seen with the videos that from your CCTV and stuff like that, uh, they yeah,
Well,
it's a
most of
shame that.
those were from the other location in the where we got the 48-hour notice thing. from that same Cajun officer and 5 other officers. And go figure the Cajun officer's name was not on that orange sticker. Okay. Conveniently, his name was not there, but yet he was the one that said something to us. 48-hour abandoned vehicle. It's like, how's it abandoned when I've always been here, you know? And
I mean,
never
how
have
can it
left.
be? Yeah, I mean, have you thought of contacting the department that they're from and getting both departments and doing like a fucking what they call it, doing like some sort of conflab with all 3 of them sitting in the same room and say, look, first of all, the RV is mobile. Second of all, you need to stop harassing me. And here's a contact number. If there's any issues, please call me. And please, put it on the system that I'm willing to communicate. I'm willing to talk to you guys. But, this harassment and this continuous drive.
Actually, when we first came to the city, I gave my business cards to a couple of officers
Yeah, but that's
that were
pointless.
patrolling, and said, share it, put it on the board, as a ministry, as a minister. Here,
Yeah,
if y'all have a bad call or something, I don't care if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you get a
yeah,
bad call and you need somebody to talk to that's not in the department.
yeah,
Shoot me a text, come on over, we'll sit down over here and have the talk.
yeah.
You know,
That's
I'm
one thing you're
here.
good at. Yeah, that's one thing you are good at. You're a good listener.
I try to be.
No, you
Sometimes
are.
I talk more. Sometimes my mouth moves a little more than it should, but I'll admit.
Yeah, that's true. We'll both agree on that one.
And sometimes I get into a conversation, and I've got that infamous Southern problem of long goodbyes.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, you're the type of person who wants to say what they need to say, and that's okay. That's okay.
I don't get the opportunity to say it very often, so I get into the long. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But the thing is,
I've even
it's
mentioned to someone else that was in the neighborhood, asking. They were asking some leading questions that almost seemed kind of fishy, but it's like, hey,
uh oh, uh oh, uh oh. If you can hear me, Eric, you've froze up.
hopefully it reconnects here in a second.
There you go. Welcome back.
Okay. Yeah, as I started to say, I've even come up with, my brain works in such a way that I came up with some great ideas that would work in conjunction with the existing laws to make good use of the land that would also provide a benefit back to the city,
I mean, like, if I'll be honest with you,
such as turning some of these old lots into RV spaces that, some with and some without hookups. And, the city could charge for hookups and actually take some of the land, put a bunch of solar to help power it, and which would also be helpful back to the city.
yeah, but the only problem you would have if you did that would be the discarding of sewage, grey water and black water.
Technically,
That,
no, because the state falls is pretty cheap to, which is not too far away. There's a local state park not far away that doesn't charge too much for dumping, and then a little bit and about double the distance, there's a dump station for the city that they do not charge RVs to dump there.
oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's that. I think that would be the only sort of hiccup. But if
The
they
biggest
had,
the biggest thing is electric and maybe some water.
yeah, yeah,
And I just did a water project down into this area using a lot of non-potable reclaimed water.
yeah. You see, that's where you need fresh water. Yeah. But Eric, I don't
Well,
want to
but,
be rude. Oh, sorry. Go.
oh yeah, don't be rude. I'm sure if you want to, I know this is normally the time you sometimes like to do a stream. So
No.
uh,
I'm not stream. Yesterday I didn't stream. Today I may not stream. I'm like because obviously I need to do some bits and bobs. Tonight I probably will. I'm not sure. But at some point, because someone came up with a bloody good idea, what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and do a veteran stream where we reminisce about times when we were, some good times when we were serving. I've got quite a few. Actual fact, I can tell you one right now, but that would be disgusting to say the least.
Go ahead. Ain't nobody here. Maybe
All
Hose
right,
is still listening.
I'll
Go
tell you
ahead.
a little. Right, we were on a packet before. Let me explain what a packet is. A packet is a squad of vehicles. Usually, it's about 3 to 4 vehicles, right? And that's a packet. And we had 3 packets. So each packet would have a time when they leave the HR line. So basically, like at 2:00, the first packet would leave, and then 2:15, the second packet would leave, and then at 2:30, the third packet would leave. So we were second packet, and we were what was it, third vehicle in, and we're driving down the motorway. I mean, I'm not going. We were driving down the motorway. And in our vehicles, we got a thing called a cupola. A cupola is basically a hole in the roof where you would have you mounted your defensive weapon, like GPMG or something like that. And when they open, they slide to one side, so basically it doesn't open backwards, or they on a pulley system. And we were driving down, normal speed, 55 miles an hour, blah, 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 And usually vehicles have to be a certain distance away in a convoy, right? So you're looking at about 100 meters, right, in open, and about 25 meters when you're going through built-up areas. And because we were driving around, we came off the motorway and we were driving in on A roads. We were fairly close. And we were driving away next, this... it was quite strange. This used tampon hit the windscreen on the driver's side, and he thought he hit a fucking bird. There was claret all over the windscreen, and he's like, "What, your windscreen wipers all out there?" And the whole fucking windscreen looked like a fucking it's a chainsaw massacre. And so he's trying to stay on the freaking road. At the same time, the vehicle in front of us was going around a bend, and there's a dump truck, like a rubbish collection vehicle, came past, and both of the mirrors hit. So, and basically, both mirrors on both vehicles exploded. So we had, so it was like when we pulled over, right? The packet commander got out. He saw the front of our vehicle, and he saw the everything, and he really thought someone got hurt. And then someone got out of the vehicle in front of us, and just went, "Oh shit!" I fucking thought I threw it. Oh god, that was one of the funniest incidents we've ever had. And the amount of bottled water we had to use our jerry cans with the water, to clean the windscreen off. And she had to do it on her own. So we were passing up the jerry cans, and she was like opening the cupola and she's pouring it down the wind. And you could tell she was about to do the impression of a freaking exorcist. She was like, one of them. But that was funny.
Well, was it hers?
Yes, it was.
That's her own fault.
Because the vehicle, what we didn't know is that both driver and commander of that vehicle were female. So we didn't know. We thought that they got split up into different vehicles.
Oh man, even worse.
And the other one, she was laughing her tits. She thought it was hilarious. And I turned and then when she said, "Oh, that's funny," and I just lost it. I went, "Funny, fucking funny." He nearly lost control of the fucking vehicle. He thought he fucking hit something. And like, "Oh right, okay." But I'll never forget that. That happened in where was it? Mid-90s, late 90s. That was hilarious, though. That was probably the funniest thing that ever happened to us.
Well, that's when I started, was 94 to 96.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand the mid-90s and thing versus now. Oh, that's bloody hilarious. Literally. Unintended.
But can you imagine, I mean, like there was, we
I
were,
can because as a truck driver, driving driving the real semi trucks, not the truck simulator.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, I
there's
can drive
been a
trucks.
few. There's been a few times where, well, I didn't have I didn't have the medical urinals I have now, so it was wide mouth Mountain Dews or whatever. So whatever I could, whatever I emptied, got refilled with something else.
Yeah.
But since you can't always find a good wide mouth bottle, sometimes things will have to be reused. There's nothing like having someone.
Uh-huh.
The sleepers. The sleepers on big rigs.
Yeah.
The sleeper compartment.
Yeah.
Like a 72-inch sleeper, condo sleeper.
Yeah. The
Uh,
American version. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
okay, they have a little emergency side door in the sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on both sides. But there's nothing like peeking through the curtain, making sure there's nobody back behind you, and then opening a crack and dumping your piss bottle out, and so you can refill it while going down the highway. And you just hope nobody's behind you. But you can kind of tell which trucks have done that too many times, especially on snowy, dirty roads, because you see a streak on the side of the trailer, where basically the wind and the tire and the drive tires of the tractor will sit there, send it up the trailer.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I mean, I mean, it's yeah, shit. Do you know what? Thinking about, reminiscing about them days now. Here's a good. Here's another one. It was my first ever exercise in Canada, in Battus, in Alberta, and one of the guys was like, we were all in our slugs, we were all in our sleeping bags and fucking chilling out. Some people were sleeping and all that, and we got a brief about the rattlesnakes there, the snakes, that there were two different types of snakes. That you had the venomous type and the non-venomous type. And it was like, oh yeah. Fucking next morning, waking up with something heavy on your fucking belly, and then looking up and seeing a fucking snake curled up on top of your fucking sleeping bag. It's like, shit. Yeah, that's happened. Or golfers, fucking, you're so knackered, you're eating your fucking scoff, and you got like a biscuit in one hand, and you got like like some sort of meat, I can't remember what it was called actually. It's like a paste, like a meat paste. Oh, what's it called again? It's a paste basically. And then what you do, you can warm it up, or you just take it out and then spread it on bread or biscuits or something like that, or cookies or whatever, and then you can eat it. And basically, like, you're dropping off, falling asleep. Next thing you feel your hand being tugged, and you're like, fucking open your eyes, and there's a golfer trying to steal your biscuit. What the fuck? Yeah, there you go. You may as well take it now. You fucking had it in your mouth.
just don't sleep with food in your hand anywhere near my dog. My dog will come steal it.
Yeah,
Especially if you got a corn dog. My dog loves this dog that I have. She loves corn dogs, and the worst part is, she likes it. She'll take, especially if you give her the stick too, because this dog likes to chew stick. Will chew regular sticks out in the outside.
Yeah.
She will take that little popsicle stick that you get in corn dogs, or the breakfast versions, which are the pancake sausage stuff. Instead of actually completely like chewing it up and shredding it and eating the stick, no, I just go back to, because she'll take them back to my bed to eat, and I basically have to go and pick splinters out of my bed before I can go to sleep. I had to do that one night. I was like, doggone it, dog! You could have all the places you pick. And then earlier, what was it? Yesterday or today? We were having my daughter and wife and dog in the dog hall had one of the breakfast ones outside, but the door was shut. She was getting ready to try to bring it in to eat it. It was like, you're gonna eat that outside. We ain't doing the splinter. I ain't picking splinters out of the bed again. I mean,
Well,
people go
mine.
from outside to inside to my bed just to do that.
Mine. He's got a very bad habit of crawling in. I mean, he's done it to me before when I was being tired and I was like sitting there, and he'll crawl in, and you won't even see him. And I'm sort of like snacking away, and then next thing I turn around and all I see is his freaking head, and then his jaw going, and he claps his teeth like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's a fucking wild one. But I'll tell you one thing, he's good as gold though. When it comes to food, he doesn't beg or anything. He just sits there.
Oh, our dog will sit there and basically beg and look at you like, "Where's mine? Where's mine? You gonna give it to me? You gonna give it?"
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
This dog
listen.
eats more people food than she does dog food. She'll only eat the dog food like late at night when everybody's sleeping, and then she basically takes a little mouthful, takes it back, sets it down, and snacks. Then gets back up, goes gets another mouthful, and then takes it back. Yeah, she's a finicky eater.
Anyway, Eric, I have to bid you adieu. I think I've been here long enough. And in regards of Zed, I do apologize, but I didn't find that
It's
comment.
all right. I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna be. It was gonna be, go a little bit different. But before you leave here, let's let me give you one good final parting song.
Oh yes.
Haven't played one in a while from my normal playlist here, not from one of my new ones. Here you go.
I'll mute my mic for that one.
In fields of blood and dust blown wide, a servant spirit won't be denied. Born to fight with honor proud, in echoes of the battles loud. Through storms at sea and endless night, for sailors' heart the guiding light. Jesus Christ, the strength inside, for freedom's call they won't backslide. Through storms at sea and endless night, for sailors' heart the guiding light. Jesus Christ, the strength inside, for freedom's call they won't backslide. Carry on, oh soldier brave, through the memories of those who gave. Lift up your eyes to hope's bright dawn, in the shadow of the falling dawn. On hallowed ground where heroes rest, veterans' pride in chest compressed. With every prayer and worship hymn, their legacy will never dim. In battle's pound where heroes rest, their spirit's fire forever shone. With Jesus as their guiding star, in darkened times they carried far. Rise up, lift your voices high, for every tear that's yet to dry. With hope and faith the journey's long, in remembrance they live on. Carry on, oh soldier brave, through the memories of those who gave. Lift up your eyes to hope's bright dawn, in the shadow of the falling yawn. On hallowed ground where heroes rest, their spirit's fire forever shone. With Jesus as their guiding star, in darkened times they carried far. Rise up, lift your voices high, for every tear that's yet to dry. With hope and faith the journey's long, in remembrance they live on.
All right. Well, there we go. Yeah, I've even made it home now from Bible study, but
That was a good tune, dude. I quite
I try to
enjoyed
make
that.
good ones. And if you go back and catch the replay towards, well, I played it twice, and the wife is waving hello.
Yeah,
to you.
hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, army stick together. There's 2 against 1 now.
Ah, doggone
Well, yeah, congratulations there.
Yeah, because Squid never comes here, so or some of the other Navy vets from your stream. They don't come. They don't stop by. Check you darn. But all right, I'll let you go.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
kick it
thanks
over
very
to
much.
my outro little part. So anybody else that wants to say hi and bye to Spawn Trooper, and if you want to go ahead and drop your link before you leave out, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. Shit, how do I do that?
HTTPS.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Do you know what? That's one thing I'm so not used to doing that. Oh God, where am I?
I know. I literally was getting before my computer crashed. I was literally getting ready to create a like a notepad, a little WordPad sheet of with all the links. There you go. With
Yeah.
all the links in there, where I can just copy paste, and make it quick, easy.
Yeah, I don't usually. I mean, that this is probably the first time I've actually like posted my own link. Well, you know, I'm not. I just don't do it. I don't know. It's not a habit
Well,
for
see,
me.
my chat does show up on replay, so I have no. And you're a guest, you're a friend, and I have no problem you dropping your link.
Yeah, I
You know,
appreciate that, man. I do.
anytime, especially if you ever come on to the stream, yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead and drop your link. I'm afraid of that. And anybody shows up and they care, they'll come visit you.
yeah. I mean, I've got like something. I've got something in the pipeline that I'm planning, um, which would be benefit. It's going to be an interesting one. I've got I've got a cunning plan, and hopefully it'll work. And if it does work, but I'll explain it closer to the date, and I think you'll like it. I think a lot of people will like it actually.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, I'm going to bid you adieu. I wish you all a good evening. Have a fantastic rest of the stream. And
I'm going to be shutting it down. I've got almost
oh,
3 hours here, so.
yeah, you are.
But but my joke about me looking like a Goodyear blimp, or not a Goodyear blimp, but a Macy's Day parade float, a parade balloon. Yeah, I kind of got a song that kind of fits that, and I think you might feel some of it too. But the only way I played it was from one device to another, so I haven't uploaded it yet. So
Yeah, but the thing
you
is,
have to go back and catch that one.
yeah, but like I said, tonight at 7 p.m., I have to wrestle with my self-loathing, and I just can't. I just can't miss that one again. So
Oh, he's got the grin. 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's pretty much that's one of my wife's main ringtones on her phone because she is she's more of a
yeah,
Mrs. Grinch many times. But all
yeah,
right, I'm so happy you came in and even joined me on the stream for you probably were hanging out with me here for a good hour at least.
yeah. I
So
mean, I've
I
enjoyed it.
so
I mean,
appreciate it.
yeah, I've enjoyed it. I mean, unfortunately, there was a bit of a communication breakdown with someone, but it's how you terminology is how you what you got to
Well,
be
that's like
very
maybe the
careful.
first or second time he's ever been on. He's ever been in my chat to begin
Yeah,
with. So, and yeah, I haven't been to his too often, but that's
but he
why I
does
went
have
ahead and I wrenched him because I thought, I
yeah.
trusted him. So, or,
Yeah, but like I mean, if anyone does go and check out Zed's place, go and check out his ant art farm.
yeah.
They are very very. I mean, when it comes to art and stuff that people do, I must admit that they are very nice, very very nice pieces of kit.
And for those that want to say that my channel is ruined by having Spawn Trooper on here, no, it's not. For one, for two, This, I have different segments to my streaming, and this one is campfire, kicking it around a campfire, hanging out.
Yep.
I don't care who comes on panel. We'll just hang out, have fun, talk, shoot
Yep.
the breeze,
Yep.
chew the rag, whatever. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a type of person. I say it as it is. I don't sugarcoat things. So if you take offense, then that's
Yeah,
on
you're
you.
not Mary Poppins. You don't give a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down.
No. Wait, what? Well,
Bag. Oh,
no. I've already got one tune in my head that's driving me nuts.
chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree. As sweet as heavy as can be cured.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim.
Chim chim cheree.
I'm just waiting for my queen in the kitchen to go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Say that.
It's what happens when you get talking to a Navy vet, especially one that's also a Gen Xer like you. Is also an older one.
Hang on a minute, Eric. I'm getting it in the neck. 1 second. Sorry, what was that?
Nothing important.
All right, don't shout at me.
And you did.
This is brilliant. 8:30 in the morning, and there's a fight going on.
Well, not everybody's. And this is my stream, not yours, so you don't have a whole bunch of people telling you to go give her a bunch of hugs and kisses.
Yeah, I think I'll get my ass kicked if I did that right now. Anyway, I'm going to go.
Do make sure she has her proper morning spot of tea.
Yeah, I think she's already had a gallon. But on that note, I'm out. I gotta go.
All right. Get you later.
See you later, buddy. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We gathered round the campfire's glow. Stars dance high where the warm winds blow. Sweet tea in a mason jar, thick as a stone. Laughter floats like smoke, we're never alone. Dr. Pepper fizzing light hits the glass. Coffee brewing slow, time here seems to pass. Hot cocoa whispers tales to the night. Stories of the road where everything feels right. Kicking back with friends, no worries in sight. 87 LTN by the radio's light. With amateur radio, we share our land, holding on to moments as embers turn to sand. Eric tunes the dial, finds a friendly voice. Static crackles softly in the quiet, we rejoice. Talking about the little things, living day by day. Simple countryside where we'd rather stay. Cedar smoke mixes with the midnight dew. There's magic in the air in everything we do. Peggy tells a story about the mountains far. Just another chapter beneath this familiar star. Kicking back campfire's glow. Stars dance high where the warm winds blow. Sweet tea in a mason jar, thick as a stone. Laughter floats like smoke, we're never alone. Dr. Pepper fizzing light hits the glass. Coffee brewing slow, time here seems to pass. Hot cocoa whispers tales to the night. Stories of the road where everything feels right. Kicking back with friends, no worries in sight. 87 LTN by the radio's light. With amateur radio, we share our land, holding on to moments as embers turn to sand.
I want to say thank you for everyone that came by and enjoyed the stream. Thank you again, Spawn Trooper, for coming on stream with me. And catch everyone around on the next one. Shalom. Peace unto you.